Every day I go through this. The designer delivers perfect layouts, everything looks great, and works in the prototype. And then it's my turn to make it all work in real life. In the real world, the connection is slow, the screen is small, the user is in a hurry, and their phone is often a bit outdated, with a few years of use. Hi, my name is Aline. I am a front-end developer here at Bix, and in recent years, I have learned that there is a gap between what looks good in design and what works for everyone. Today, I will show you how we transformed the incredible designs from content flow into an application that works perfectly on anything from an old phone, like an iPhone 6, to a 4K high-resolution monitor with 1 megabyte internet or fiber optics, and all this without losing performance, accessibility, and user experience. Before talking about code, let me show you a reality we face daily as front-end developers. Looking at our users' profiles, we see that about 34% use Android phones that are over 3 years old, 28% use iPhones of various generations, 23% are on Windows laptops, and about 15% use other devices, like tablets, for example. Now, thinking about how they connect with us, 42% have unstable mobile internet, 31% use shared Wi-Fi, 18% of them have really good broadband, and another 9% are in remote locations. And the usage context is as unpredictable as possible. There are people using it on the subway with a connection that comes and goes. Some use it at work with the corporate network, with some restrictions. At home, sharing the internet with family, and even traveling with international roaming. Design always assumes initially an ideal scenario where the screen will be large, the internet will be fast, and the user will be 100% focused on the product, but the reality is different. The screen is small, the internet is slow, and the user is focused on various things in the external world. So, my mission is simple to say, but quite complex to execute, which is to make this work in all scenarios. Now let's talk about how we solved all this in practice and why the mantra here is performance first. First, we implemented bundle splitting to load only what is really necessary. We use lazy loading to load components on demand. The videos are optimized in WebM, which is a format more optimized for web content, and the service workers perform smart caching, ensuring that the app loads quickly even with a poor connection. True responsiveness. It's not just about making a bunch of media queries in the CSS or the site's styling. It's about thinking, from the start, in mobile first as well, ensuring that the base works perfectly on the phone and that the rest improves progressively. Third, smart loading states. We apply skeletons so that the user can already see the page structure while the real content loads. We do progressive loading by showing the content in parts, and even offline, the interface remains functional, with visual feedback that explains to the user what is happening. And finally, universal accessibility. Each element has a description for screen readers. Everything works with just the keyboard, without relying on the mouse. We have high contrast, support for multiple languages, and even RTL reading nothing was left out. Now, let me show you this really working. Starting with the iPhone SE, which has a small screen, the upload is done with a simple touch, the progress bar is optimized, the buttons are sized to actually fit on the screen without needing to zoom in, and the text is always legible. On iPads or tablets with a medium screen, the layout turns into 2 columns. There is drag and drop, video preview, and fluid gesture navigation. On a desktop with a larger screen, the application takes advantage of all the space you can make multiple uploads at the same time, see high-resolution previews, and use keyboard shortcuts to speed up the entire navigation process. Now, what I like most to show is how we handled the slow connection. Even on 2G, the app remains functional because everything is designed to save bytes. The images are automatically compressed, lazy loading is more aggressive, and the local cache keeps the content available. In offline mode, nothing breaks. Uploads are queued, the interface remains responsive, and as soon as the connection returns, everything syncs automatically, without losing our users' data. The same code works in all contexts, without exception. Now, talking about our numbers, because this is where we really see the magic happening. Our LCP, the largest contentful paint, was 1.2 seconds. The FID, first input delay, in 45 milliseconds. The CLS, cumulative layout shift, is practically 0.02. In other words, all the metrics here are in the green. The initial JavaScript bundle size is 89 kilobytes. The critical CSS is only 12, making a total first load of 101 kilobytes, which is faster than 94% of competing sites with ours. The compatibility we achieved works in 99% of browsers, with support even for Internet Explorer 11. And since it is a progressive web app, it can be installed as a native application on the person's own computer. Accessibility. We scored 100 out of 100 on Lighthouse, fully compliant with WCAG, tested with screen readers, and fully navigable by keyboard. And the practical result of all this? 23% less abandonment on mobile, 67% more completed uploads, 89% satisfaction, even on slow connections, and 0 complaints related to accessibility. Now, let me ask you a question. Does your website work for all your users? Because the truth is, you could be losing up to 40% of your customers just because the site doesn't load properly on their phones, or because their internet is slow, or even because they use a screen reader, for example. Some warning signs are quite common, such as the site being slow on mobile, users abandoning during loading, usability complaints, or engagement dropping on certain types of devices. If you have an amazing product but suspect that these technical details are driving your users away, or if you want to ensure that your front end is truly optimized for maximum conversion, we can help you. At Bix, we not only master the most modern technologies, but we also know how to apply all this with real performance and accessibility in mind. In the next video, Pedro will show us how we ensure everything continues to work perfectly, like the testing strategy that eliminated 95% of bugs before they even reached users. See you then! And remember, beautiful code impresses developers, but code that works wins over users.